Yeah, I love talking about Joy Hour. It is a great event we do, and it's spreading across the country. The Joy Hour is creating a culture of connection. In a sober environment, we have all kinds of events and activities, but it really is creating a culture of connection. Our focus is addiction prevention, also addiction recovery, mental health, hope, and healing through connection. If you'd like to get involved, please go to theconsiderategroup.com/Joy Hour.
All right, here we go.
Leave them out of it.
No, we're good. We just have fun
That
with it.
later.
So I'm so excited, Jason, Cherise, being here on the show today. This is exciting. And we'll just see how this goes. But you've been a big supporter of Joy Hour. You've become close friends, and I just excited to talk about, everything and anything we want to today. But welcome to the Joy Hour podcast show, and
Appreciate it.
here we go.
Yes, sir.
So, Jason, I guess where do we start? You and your wife and I met how long ago? About a year?
Close to a year ago. Yeah.
And yet you're one of those people I feel like I've known for 20 years. It's just we've had a lot of great conversations and just real talk.
One of those meant to be relationships.
Right. And I guess just, start with a little bit about, your family, your wife, yourself, also what you do, with Rolling Smoke BBQ. Just phenomenal. The best barbecue I've had in my life. Extremely good. And not just the food, but the love that goes into it. So it means a lot to us at Joy Hour. You have been very dedicated at every event, bringing the food, the prep, all that's gone into it. But talk a little bit about Rolling Smoke, your business, and your family.
All right. Well, Rolling Smoke business, Rolling Smoke Barbecue and Co. is a little idea I started dreaming about while I was in my my old job as a cook at a women's shelter. Started doing competition barbecue, and I started dreaming about ways of how I can, make more money, grow my own business. So in my brain, I created Rolling Smoke Barbecue and Company with the help of my wife, Cherise. We've invested a lot of money and time into it, and we've grown the business substantially, and we're always looking for things to do to give back.
Mm-hmm.
We like helping the community, feeding people in need. I was a chef at a women's shelter for 7 years, obviously, that. So I always have a passion to feed people that need.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I first heard about you guys, I was connected with Mission Outdoors, Ryan Elwell.
Yeah.
He was kind of one of the catalysts that it got us introduced. And so he was, doing the food for you guys, and I was helping him do that. And then as I got to know you and Joy Hour and what you guys were all about and what you guys were giving the community, it almost became my mission to make sure that I'm attached at the hip with you guys, and I'm doing my part to help you do what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a small part, but it's my part, and I think it's important. So
Hey, I think if there wasn't food at the event, I don't know if anybody would show up. So it's not a small part. Come on. But no, going through that, so Ryan Elwell, Mission Outdoors, first contacted you, and that's how you heard about Joy Hour?
right. Yeah.
Okay. Thinking back on it, trying to think how I met Ryan and how that all worked out, but he has just been huge and absolute love. I know you do too. Mission Outdoors, just a phenomenal program and nonprofit that they do, and so many similarities in each of us. And I think it goes to knowing your heart. And I think when you and I first connected, we had some conversations like, hey, who are you? And, both of us, I think on that first time we talked, got pretty deep.
Pretty real.
Pretty real.
Yeah.
And that's the thing in life that I find so important is you can spend months and even years knowing somebody, but not knowing them. And, not everybody wants to jump right out and share the mistakes they've made or the failures they've had or struggles they've had. But, I do appreciate that about you. And, I see it. I see the prep that goes into it. I was so shocked when Ryan and then yourself came and you're like, we want to do the food. And, we'd been doing Subway sandwiches. We'd been doing Domino's pizza. And then you guys bring this barbecue. And, man, the crowd is just like, I remember just when you and the other chef were doing the tutorial, teaching us how to marinate and prep. I'm not a chef, so I'll probably use the wrong words, but to prep the meat and cook the meat, and that whole circle of people just listening, and that whole free education on how to prep your steaks and cook them and everything. And just, we had a lot of fun at that event, in every event. But I just was standing back watching, like, during this 4-hour event, you guys are working the whole time. You're loving people. You're doing it. You're passionate. But the whole day before and all the work that really went into it behind the scenes, and then the cleanup of your equipment and everything. I mean, it's each event, you, your wife and the team and a few others are putting in 12 to 15 hours probably per event to have this great food for hundreds and hundreds of people. And man, that means the world to the Joy Hour team. You are on the Joy Hour team. You are part of it. And don't ever underestimate how much that's appreciated by people in the community. You know, it's easy to build a company. You know, I do construction. You're a chef and caterer and barbecue master. And but what do you really do it for? And I think that's the people that are coming around. You know, like right there, Ryan. I mean, his heart, and we can't wait to get him on the show here. But he's not out to get his name out there. He's not out there to promote himself. No. You aren't either. It's out of love. It's true love for your fellow man that says, I'm going to put 15 hours for free, and I'm going to even buy food and bring it for free. I don't need any trophy. I'm just doing it because I truly love people. And I know it took me even talking you into being here to help get the word out there, because you're not one that would promote yourself, and neither is Ryan. And so I just, speaking from my heart, I see it, and I'm so excited with y'all to just keep doing this. You know, there's prosperity with a purpose, and I do believe that you keep doing that, and you know, it does help in our own lives. You know, when you truly are giving to other people that can't give back to you. And I can go on, but tell me a little more about the YMCA and when you worked there. Go back even further. Let's start further. When did you two meet? There we go. I got to get you to talk at some point.
We actually met our sophomore year, freshman or sophomore year?
Sophomore year.
Sophomore year of high school. A mutual buddy of ours introduced us, and we went to homecoming together.
Okay.
After homecoming, I think we hung out maybe like once. Didn't see each other for about 13 years after that. Yeah, like literally no contact. Didn't remember each other's last name. All we had was that homecoming photo of each other. And then one night I'm in my apartment and his last name popped in my head. I mean, just randomly. So I looked up Hester.
Lucky me.
Sure enough, found Hester. And I messaged him that night. And I mean, he didn't leave my house after that. Let's just say that.
Wow.
He did not leave my side after that. Literally didn't leave my side.
Yeah, he still hasn't. Yeah. And how many years ago was that?
9 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Saved my life.
Yeah.
And mine.
Yeah.
He was there for a lot of hard times I was going through. So I got shot in 2012. And I was in the hospital quite often at Harborview. So the first night I met him, or re-met him, I guess I should say, I told him everything, told him how I was leaving a Mariners game. The guy I was dating at the time was playing with the 22 in the back, went off. So if I hadn't been close to the hospital, I wouldn't have made it. It was touch and go. Like, they had already called time. My surgeon, who was besides God, is my other savior, saved my life that night. So when I re-linked up with him, it was 2014. 2014.
Yeah.
And then I had to go back to the hospital. So once we found out I had to go back to the hospital, that's when he decided to get a job downtown Seattle. That's what started him down the YMCA. Mm-hmm. So he was within walking distance of Harborview. So he lived at Harborview for 3.5 months while I was there. Yeah. So literally by my side.
Yeah. You were there for 3.5
3.5 months. And we lived there. I mean, lived. Everybody still knows our name down at Harborview. Like, we lived there.
I never knew
He
that.
showered there, like, slept by my side. Yep. Every single day. 3.5 months.
My goodness. And this was, so you re-met 9 years ago, and that's when that happened?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So we've been through a lot together. Definitely.
It's like never have heard that story in all the times we've talked. I love this. I love this. Get to know each other more right now.
For reference though, she got shot before we reconnected.
Yeah, so
Yes,
that was 2012. Yeah, 2012, and the guy I was dating then, and then he was like, "Yeah, it's not me." Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
He's not that guy. He's not the guy.
Right.
But yeah, so he and I had split after that, and it had been years, but I was still to this day, I have health issues. But I went more of the holistic route of taking care of myself because I saw the damage it was causing, not only while I was there, but to myself. So they had sent me home the first time I was there to my rehab place with fentanyl lollipops. And that was supposed to be a better option, alternative to what fentanyl they were pumping in my system. When I weaned myself off of that, I mean, the withdrawals were horrible. I was like, and I did it in the hospital without the doctors knowing that I was like literally trying to wean myself off, because I was like, I'm not going to feel that ever again. Wow. Yeah. So like having to go back to the hospital a few years later, him being by my side, like still to this day having health issues every now and then, but like having the support system was like 100% important, because I could have gone a very dark route.
Oh yeah.
Very easily. Because I mean, fentanyl lollipops, that was, right there. The one with the blue bottom there.
My goodness.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. And you see how it's tearing up our cities right now, so that could have been a different Cherise. A whole different Cherise. Wow. Yeah.
Y'all are awesome. I love learning more about people like this. I'm shocked. I didn't know that at all. So you've definitely, and I'm sure that's just the tip of the iceberg for the things you've been through. And I appreciate you sharing. You know, a lot of times in life, and we find this in Joy Hour, people do open up and sometimes even pause, like, why did I just share that with you? And of course, you all know me. I've shared I got a shirt that shows my under addiction face next to my sober face, and trying to start conversations with people and keep it real. But I appreciate that. Anything you want to share today, it means a lot, I think, to let people know the longer you live, we've all been through something or a lot of some things. The concept of as long as there's breath, there's hope. And as long as there's people in our lives that go, hey, I got you. Hey, try this route. Hey, try this approach instead of what they're saying. And, there's an important thing about, we need each other, and sometimes somebody to step in and say, hey, I love you enough to say, stop doing this or stop doing that. And I had people in my life that did that. And next week I hit 2 years clean and sober, and I am just thrilled. I'm thrilled to make it to year 3 and 5 and 10, but right now I'm doing it one day at a time, as my wristband is. But I have people in my life that, knew for Tom, 1 drop of alcohol is a problem. And I'm not going to keep, going down a good road if I do that. And, for other people, it's, helping them remember they need to get off their phone and have more, eye contact with each other, or to stay away from certain environments, because it can take them down, as you said, Cherise, that dark road that you put another 2 or 3 years of that dark road. And then where are they? No, there's no child that at 2 or 3 years old said, I can't wait to be homeless, hooked on fentanyl.
Right.
They never dreamed of that.
Right.
So at what point did that change? And it takes us, putting in those hours, making that food, setting up the plates, picking up the cups, cleaning up the spilled food on the ground at the event, hugging somebody, sharing our story with somebody, so they go, this isn't just about the food, and it's not just about the bouncy house. Like, this is about people connecting in the community that are raw and share some stuff. Like, I've never been through what you've been through, and I guarantee the things I've been through, you haven't. But you can touch people's lives with that story, and you're the only one that's going to come in contact with them. And, I'd like to see if you want to share any of the stories you've been through or what you've seen in your few years. I always look at you younger than you actually are, but I know you've seen some stuff. You've been through some stuff, and whether it's your personal stories on your mind or anything you want to share, but that's what the world, I think, needs to hear, is like, hey, you got this awesome Rolling Smoke BBQ business, you got a wonderful marriage, but you've been through stuff, and you still are going through stuff.
Oh yeah, we always evolve. Circling back to Harborview, my reason for wanting to help people. I like to help people. I like to support the underdog per se, right? But one memory from Harborview, when she was in there, she was on the 7th floor. It was the
Crying.
It was don't cry.
That's all right. We cry on the show.
She was on the 7th floor in the trauma unit.
Right.
So at Harborview, every Friday night there would be at least 2 or 3 gunshot new victims come in. Some of them escorted by police. They have guards outside their door all night. They're shackled to their bed. And we had a view of the ER entrance. I'm able to look out the window and see cop cars pull up all night long, dropping off people. Groups of families down below in the lobby that obviously were affiliated with one gunshot victim and another gunshot victim. So then now we got the families outside fighting, shooting in front of the hospital. But I remember one night, I crept out of the room. She was sleeping. And, when you're going through tough times, you turn to alcohol or to any substance, right? So I'm going in there for my nightly tall can of Mickey's, nothing fancy, and sitting out there drinking, and I see this family. They happen to be Native American, and it was a mom and a daughter, and they were just crying. They were really sad, and I took it upon myself to ask them what was wrong. And they told me that their father had gotten a really, really bad accident up in Alaska, and Harborview being the best trauma unit in the Northwest, they flew him from Alaska down to Harborview. So great, he's getting good care. Now the mom and the daughter, they had nowhere to stay. There was just no network that was, put them in a hotel voucher, a motel. They were essentially homeless for the duration while their relative is down at Harborview. So I showed them where the cafeteria was. I showed them where the hospital help desk was.
Became their advocate. Yeah.
Yeah, try to help them advocate for themselves a little bit because they were really unsure. They weren't from a big city, right? So and I was able to do that because there was a nurse at the hospital that helped me do the same thing. I'm at the hospital for 3 months. I don't know where to shower. I don't know, little things like that. So they showed me that, yes, if you're here at the hospital for an extended period of time, these are some things that you can do and access to, take care of yourself, So long story short, I do like to help people. And working down at the shelter, my first Christmas down there, I'm in the kitchen making breakfast. And I heard a woman crying, and she was saying how much she missed her family, how much she wished she had somebody to be with, and all this stuff. And slowly but surely, I realized that she wasn't just crying sadness; she was crying of pain and agony. So I stepped into the janitor closet all alone Christmas morning, and I cried. Once I got done crying, I wiped my tears up, and I went out and I made them the best breakfast I could. Bacon, scrambled eggs, pancakes, fruit, you name it. And right there, it sparked something in me of why I'm needed to be there to help people. Because sometimes they feel left out, overlooked. If you ever walked in downtown Seattle, we all know it's not looking good. Right? And we can point fingers and blame, and we could talk about that at another time. But when you see someone on the sidewalk, I've seen people, they cross the street, they avoid eye contact. I like to look them right in the eye and say, hey, good morning, how you doing, good afternoon. It's just because acknowledging their presence for human might be that one, you might be that one person that talked them off the ledge without knowing it, just by acknowledging their presence, right? So for me personally, I've been through some things like you were asking. Lost my father at 15 years old. He was my rock, my leader. By the grace of God, before he passed away, he was able to leave me with some very key advice. One of those being always be a leader, not a follower, right? He explained to me what the penitentiary was, and he explained to me what the value of a family was. So he at least left me with some concrete building blocks to grow from, but yet at 15, I wasn't a man. Obviously you're always looking for acceptance. You're looking to fit in. I didn't really need to fit in because I was that guy. I was a good talker. And when you're that guy, you can be for the good or for the bad. You can talk your friends into trouble. You can talk your friends out of trouble. So learning how to use my leadership skills took some time. And by the grace of God, I've never been to prison. I've made lots of mistakes, but moving forward, just as of recently, about, I don't know, 2 years ago, I don't even count the days anymore because that's just very stressful for me. But I lost my mother, and my mom was a very loving, kind woman, man. She was my everything, and you go through something like that, again, you turn to your vices, you turn to alcohol. And it started out where, I can go to a bar and I can have a few drinks, laugh, play darts, hang out, and socialize. Then it got to the point where you get off work, you grab you a pint of liquor and you kind of drink it and you stumble into the house and pretend like you're sober and have dinner and try to socialize. And then it gets to the point where you just come inside with the fifth and you're just sitting down there pouring drinks till the bottle's gone. So my mother's birthday was December 3rd? I think today is December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time in, I think, over, 10, 15 years that I went 4 or 5 days without a drink. Haven't had a drink since Monday.
Good job, man.
And her birthday came, and I said to myself, well, you know what's going to happen. You're already not feeling good about things. You're going to start drinking, and then all the dark and the anger is going to come into your heart. So I decided to do myself a favor for the first time. It wasn't to drink. And the reason why I was able to do that is because meeting you and meeting a new support system, I just felt that I could do it this time. Because normally I could have that conversation with myself for 30 minutes, and then here I am to the liquor store saying, screw that, you know what I'm saying? That's real talk, you know what I mean? So I was going to text you that day, and I said I was filming in person. We got a whole podcast to go on. But, man, it's ugly, man. Alcohol is it's an ugly thing. You drink when you're depressed. You drink when you have a milestone. You drink when you think you get some success.
Mm-hmm.
You drink.
It was always an excuse to drink.
It's always an excuse, But yeah, man, my mother's birthday, that was a big deal for me not to go and drink, man. Because like I said, it's just a downhill slope, So yeah, now that's thanks to you, though. I ain't gonna lie. Like if I'd ever went to Joy Hour, that wouldn't be in my realm of thinking. You know what I mean? Yeah. Well, last year on her birthday, I think I wasn't blacked out drunk, so I was able to get from point A to point B. But I remember sitting down at Beersheba Park down in Rainier Beach, my old neighborhood. And I went out there, walked out to the pier, the dock, and I can see Mercer Island, I can see Boyne Field, and I can see Lake Washington. And, I think I drink a lot. Tossed the ball in the lake, shouldn't have littered. And this year wasn't the same. I was able to sit down and think about good memories of her, smile, laugh, and it felt a lot better, man. So, man.
Bro, proud of you. This morning I was running out the house and turned around, went back and grabbed my coins, which are in my bag over there, and now I know why. I'm going to give you a coin, and I want you to have that coin in your pocket. It's just a little coin, but now I know why I brought it. So this is day what?
Shoot, the second, I guess. So
Okay.
Second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. All right, days. That's the longest I've gone in
Very
10, 15 years.
Bro, put it there again.
Yes, man.
Again. You make me think back, man. I've been to my dad's cemetery probably 200 times by myself with alcohol, cocaine, sitting there, screaming at God. My dad was my best friend, my business partner, my best man at my wedding, my everything. It was 6 years ago. It's not because of him that I started drinking. I was drinking before that. But I still have, as you talked about your mom, I had flashbacks to grief and loss. And it hits you, man. It hits you at the worst times. It hits you when you're not ready. It hits you when you're not expecting it. But then there's those other times where maybe you had a good day or you had a good deal, a good business deal or something, and you celebrate and you have a drink. And there's all these different excuses, reasons, triggers, whatever you want to call it. And I appreciate you sharing. I didn't know that about you till right now. But there are millions and millions of people that they're not drinking just to have a fun social time, and it might start at that, but then when you have grief and loss or something you go through, it becomes a coping mechanism, and then it becomes isolation. I've got a close friend that called me recently, and he's like, bro, it's not fun. I literally drink and do drugs by myself every single day, and I don't know why. And I'm isolated. I don't even go out of the house anymore, and I hate it. And this is what I do. Like, what happened? 5 years ago, it was all just for fun and clubs and parties, but now, I mean, I'm a successful dude and all that, but dude, he's like I was, drunk and high every single day. I mean, there wasn't a day that went by that I wasn't, and I still went to work, went to church, and kind of microdose during the day, and then get messed up at night. But I was again not dealing with the deeper rooted things that finally, through the 12-step programs and through Joy Hour, through Celebrate Recovery, I feel like finally this year, because my dad died December 1st. His birthday was November 20th. It's Thanksgiving. My birthday, November 25th. A lot of things. My sober date's December 12th. So within these 2 weeks, there's a lot of emotions that every year I'm going to have the rest of my life. Father's Day is the worst. I still hate Father's Day, man. I'm at church and people are like, Happy Father's Day. I'm like, please don't say that. I'm not ready. It's been 6 years, but I'm still not ready.
Right.
But I never dealt with my dad's death the first 4 years he was gone because I was always under the influence. It's been only these last 24 months next week of sobriety that I can finally say, it's not as hard, but it's still hard. But I finally got to the point I'm taking it like I'm turning into my dad in a lot of good ways. I'm remembering the good things, but it's never easy. I'm supporting you, praying for you. I didn't know that about you. I'll be thinking of you that date each year. I'm sure Mother's Day is going to be hard, bro. There's going to be triggers. There's going to be times, but you can do this. I'm going to get you one of these, bro. This is a life changer. My buddies that have one of these on have said if they've ever struggled and slipped up, they've actually taken it off before they've gone in the liquor store. Mm-hmm. Like I know I'm about to drink, so this commitment I have, with my brothers is one day at a time. I'm going to take it off for a day or two. And we talk about that, but I use wristbands, I use coins, I use meetings. I do something every single day, from journaling to book reading to Bible reading to Joy Hour to CR to Zoom meetings I do something every day that's specifically about the fact that I'm in recovery from addiction, and every day I'm vulnerable the rest of my life. Every gas station has Fireball, every gas station has IPA. I can just one drink and tomorrow it could be my last day, it could be a car accident, it could be divorce, it could be a lot of things in my life, and it's very real. And so with that becomes this other, like, okay, now I'm going to approach everything in life with sobriety. What's that look like? And you're going to have a flood of feelings and emotions that are new and different, and you're like, okay. And so the coping skills come into play, like art, painting, puzzles, coloring. The stuff I did in rehab is hilarious. It's bringing you back to your childhood things you did, but whenever you feel that stress or a trigger date's coming up with a grief loss or anything at all, just run to that, man. There's a saying we have, acrostic, I guess it's called, that we have, halt BS. And that's where I always check myself if I start to feel these, is hungry, angry, lonely, tired, bored, stressed. If it's one of those, I'm all right. Mm-hmm. But if I'm stressed and I'm tired and I'm angry and I pull in a gas station, bro, I'm not coming out with a Pepsi. I'm coming out with whiskey.
Right.
So I'm not going to the gas station that day.
Yeah.
I'm going straight home. I'm going straight to quiet time. I'm going straight to my Bible or something.
Right.
Straight to a meeting.
Right.
So it's you're going to do this. You're going to do this. And I'm so excited for you. I can't believe we even got on this topic here, but I appreciate you sharing. This is what the world needs to hear, is like, hey, we're successful business owners. We got a wife. Hey, you know what? Life's good.
Might look good, but sometimes,
we got struggles.
Yeah, got struggles.
Yeah.
The reason why it was so easy for me to open up to you is when I first met you, I was there, to help out Joy Hour, to do some cooking, but it was mainly because, a good friend of mine, Ryan Elwell, from Mission Outdoors, it was something that he was passionate about, right? So I was passionate to help him with his cause to feed the vets through Mission Outdoors.
Really?
So,
right.
And then when he told me, hey, there's some other things that I'm involved in, right? So I enjoyed helping him feed the vets, and I enjoyed helping him at his functions. But he goes, there's another friend of mine who I help out. He has something called Joy Hour. So when I showed up with him to help do some cooking and whatnot, I didn't know you all that well. My observations were the guy looks pretty well to do, You look like you were a smart businessman. And I was
Don't tell anybody I'm not. I'm just faking it really good.
So those are observations. And then from there, I observed that it was a group bringing people together, right? I see these concepts. And then I saw that there was a little bit of faith-based going on. And I saw that there was talk of recovery, addiction prevention with connection. And I thought that was pretty cool, the whole connection part. And so after that first session, unbeknownst to me, pulled me to the side and we had a real conversation, right? You were just like, hey, man, like, what's up?
Huge shout out to Zekan. They are doing amazing things to help us, and they will help you. For more information, hit here.
Think one of the first questions you asked me was, when last time we tried hard drugs, And I thought, wow, that's a pretty straightforward question, And then you shared with me, hey, I'm going on about my year and a half of being sober, And you said, man, I was on alcohol and cocaine, and you showed me a picture of yourself before and after. And I says, man, this guy's pretty damn honest, because a lot of people, especially people that seem like they're doing well, they'd never want to share what's in their closet, or if they do want to help, they want to do it from a pedestal. They want to come down and help, but they don't want to let you know, man, I was right there in the trenches with you. The same thing that you went through, I went through it, maybe even worse. There's not a color boundary on it. There's not a wealth gap on it. It can hit anybody at any time. You know what I'm saying? So that opened up my heart and let down my guard to be more open, right? Because I would never tell anybody prior to me meeting you, and even like Ryan. When I met Ryan, he had quit drinking alcohol. I met Justin Smith. He quit drinking alcohol. But prior to meeting you fellas and watching you guys, right? Because I sat in the shadows for almost a year watching the transition of three men. I saw some of these guys lose tremendous weight, and I saw another guy lose some weight. Both of them lost weight. They both look great. You know what I'm saying? And I seen their transition, right? And so, being open and honest allowed me to be open and honest, not only with myself, right, with other people that can continue to guide me and help me. So there's a big level of trust. I mean, I trust you, man, like a brother, man. I mean, that's that, so. Yeah, man.
It's what we need, bro. This group is going to grow, not just Joy Hour, but this group of men, this group of like-minded women, men that are going, hey, we want to party and have fun. And, we tried this environment of creating a culture of connection, and there's pool tables and bouncy houses and there's barbecue. It's actually more fun than all those drunk ones that we did put together. And it takes a little bit to convince ourselves. Honestly, I'm just thinking about this, but when Joy Hour started, I thought, can I truly have a blast, have a party without any substance or alcohol? Like, it was an unproven, like, I hadn't really done it. Like, and I didn't want to be sober and staring at a wall, just going to meetings all the time.
Right.
Like, I like to meet people and have fun. And so it was kind of a untested theory of, is this going to work? And so the pool table came, the ping pong table came, 30 people showed up, had a blast. I think I've told you this, but week 2, 71 people, week 3, 107 people on my 107 sober day. I was like, all right, that's a confirmation. I'm a numbers guy. And the fourth week, 160, and all summer long, 150, 170, 180. Went back and forth all summer, and then the winter kind of died down to about 80 each week. But for every Wednesday for 14 months. And I look at that, and of course, then the bouncy house, and then the face painting, and then the barber, and then the basketball, and all these different things came in. But it's true. We can party and have better time, better memories, and most importantly, build better relationships during a Joy Hour, where the next day we remember each other. Like tomorrow, I'm going to remember it's December. Jason might need a phone call. Next December 3rd, I'm pretty sure all of a sudden I'm going to remember. This is an important date for my bro. Shout out, man. What you doing today? What you got going? Want to meet for lunch? Love you, bro. Something. Because you shared something close to you. You've shared a weakness, or you've been vulnerable, and now as a brother, I want to help you. I want to see you blossom even more in your beautiful marriage. I think it's cute. You two are so close together with how you started this out today. I love that. 9 years, and You act like you're dating and you're flirting with each other. It's great. I want to see it even get better and better over years, you know. And I know you know my kids, and you want me to obviously build better relationships with them, and it's just there's so much that can be done when you're in a sober state of mind, where throughout the week, we think of each other. Because usually when I'm in a dark spot and I struggle with anxiety and depression, and people are like, "Oh, well, why would you?" Bro, I do. Okay, it comes in like a whirlwind, like a flood. Sometimes it's like Saturday morning, I get up and I'm just like my chest and my stomach, and I'm like, "What the heck? What's wrong with me?" And I deal with it in different ways. I might go outside, or I'll read a book, or different things. But usually, I'm not gonna. Hey, Jason, I'm really depressed right now. Can you talk me out of it?
Right.
But if Jason's hitting me up with a text on Saturday, "Hey, bro, have a great weekend," I might then go,
Open up.
"Hey, bro, thanks for reaching out. I was having a bad morning." So we need to ping each other, phone call, text, whatever. Use our devices for the right reasons to reach out and say, I was thinking of you today. I know it's holidays are triggering, and be there for each other. But that's what you've done. These other men you mentioned, and super excited for us just to develop this culture of connection where we truly know enough about each other that we have those real conversations, so that we never have that time. As you know, a while back, I had to speak at a funeral of a man that I was with every day for 5 or 6 months. And he was on a good trajectory, man. We were pumped, excited.
Man.
And it taught me a lot, and there's not anything probably that could have been done different. But I did.
Dennis, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dennis.
Yep. I'm going to name something after that man, 31 years old. And man, we had some laughs, some tears, the hiking, the gym, the carpooling, the meetings. Big heart, great guy, wonderful man. And he just had that one day where there wasn't enough connection yet to grab him when he was in a dark spot and made a choice. And whatever, if it was the product or whatever, I don't know, but it's real. And there's a young child that now doesn't have his father anymore because of that situation. And so what can we do? In any conversation we have with people, what I find is so important is, if you want to talk sports for a minute, politics for a minute with somebody, all right. But if you spend hours talking about that and you never go, "Bro, how you doing? How's your mental health? How's your kids? How's your marriage? How's your drinking? What's up? You look a little down today." If we don't have real talk, like, what's the point? Yeah. Like money, sports, stuff out of that you can't even control going on in the world. I mean, people are like, "Man, Tom, you don't know much about, what's going on in the world." Well, I do. I know there's wars going on. I know there's people dying. I know that there's a lot of negativity going on, but I also know today I got 2 feet. They're going to go that direction or that direction. I got a voice. I got ears. And hopefully I can keep another Dennis from doing something that he doesn't need to, because he's not alone. People don't need to feel alone. And that's the idea, is you're never alone. You've been through stuff. You're going through stuff. But there's a healthy way to deal with pain, grief, like you said earlier with the pain and what they were giving you, the fentanyl pops.
Yeah.
You dealt with it in a different way, but you still have pain.
Exactly. Yeah.
Physically, emotionally, spiritually, all of these ways. And I think the combination of recovery meetings, joy hour, barbecues, outdoor, the whole Mission Outdoor concept, hope through outdoors.
Yeah.
Let's go on a hike.
Hope grows outdoors.
Hope grows outdoors.
Yeah.
Let's go fishing. Let's go do archery. There's so many things outdoors, but these things here, we got to be careful, man. They're eating up people's lives. I tell people fentanyl and meth, we talk about a lot. We need to start talking about this. We are users of these things. The average teenager spends 7-8 hours a day on the phone, I guess is what they say is the average. Right. So they're more connected than ever. Yeah. But they're not connected. So when they have that bad, right. Yeah. So when they have that dark Saturday night by themselves, feeling lonely and isolated and miserable, they got 1,000 friends and followers. Yeah. Who are they going to say, "Bro, I'm about to go to the liquor store and I really don't want to, but I don't know what else is going to help. But I thought I should call you." "Oh, hey, let's get together. Hey, where you at?" Okay, I'll meet you. I'll pick you up. Bro, and then you do that. Or you just stay on the phone and talk through it.
I couldn't imagine, being born in this new generation, because now with the social media, they have that thing called, fear of missing out, right? So You don't get invited to the party, but you see on social media all your friends are there. Back in our day, you didn't get invited to the party. You find out Monday, Tuesday at school. Oh, there was a get-together, but you probably didn't care because you went to Blockbuster Hollywood Video and had a movie pizza night with the anyway. And played Monopoly, right? Yeah. So, but yeah, it's different times now. And, you know, with this...
A lot of distractions.
Yeah, a ton of distractions. You know, and even with the high level of technology and connection with cell phones, you know, if you're in a dark place, like, for example, my Uncle Glenn Hughes, my dad's brother, a lot of wisdom. One day I was at his house and sitting on his patio looking at the lake and we're hanging out, and I says to him, I says, you know, I want to be polite. I'm at his house. I says, hey, Unc, man, you might have to have a beer. And he looked at me and goes, oh, can you? And when he says, can you? I had to think about it. I says, well,
He literally meant, can you? Some people can't just have one beer.
yeah. And so...
it's a slippery slope. So he's asking, can you have a beer? How are you going to behave after you have that beer?
Well, yeah.
Is that beer going to lead to something else?
Right.
Like,
Yeah, because, you know, with that one beer for
good.
me, it ain't going to be just one beer. If we're going to drink that 6-pack and we're going to figure out how to go get that 12-pack, and then if the 12-pack is gone, let's just start drinking some whiskey, right?
Yeah.
You know, we all been there, done that.
Yeah.
But with that, you know, when you're in a dark place, you're using alcohol, then you start to isolate yourself, right? You know, if I'm super drunk or I'm drinking, and even if it's someone in your life that's good, you know, they're trying to help you, well, now you're ashamed because you sound drunk. So now you don't answer the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Then you spend the rest of the time drinking, sleeping. Now the next day you're trying to walk it off. You're hungover. So now you don't want to talk again. You know, you feel ashamed and guilt. And so it's just, it's just really bad. It's a really bad cycle, you know, so, yeah.
Yeah.
it's one day at a time, though.
It is. And, you know, a lot of times I look at this wristband like 1 hour at a time.
Yeah.
1 minute at a time.
Yeah.
You know, I've got a decision right now to take a right or left. I'm feeling angry, tired, stressed. Right hand turn means this. Left hand turn means this. And, you know, running to each other and saying, I'm having a rough day, it's hard to do. But once you do it and you find like that person goes, man, I'm glad you called, bro. Let's get together. Or, hey, let's stay on the phone. Or, hey, sis, I got you. But those, to be comfortable enough to do that happens now with us because we've known each other almost a year. It wasn't the first day. You had to kind of tie those and learn each other, like, who is Jason? Who is Tom? And through these conversations at Joy Hour and other events that we do together, we've learned about each other. And, you know, we click. We might not click with everybody, but they're going to need to click with somebody. And so just knowing, like, how important that is. If you were going to say to somebody that's never been to Joy Hour, like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind as far as what they would experience or what it might mean for them? Just a couple keywords of, you know, what's Joy Hour.
Man, you're going to feel welcome, you're going to feel connected, and you're going to feel empowered. I mean, that's what it's going to be. I mean,
I'd like to say it's okay if you're an introvert like me,
true.
because obviously I don't talk a lot. It takes me a lot to open up. But if you know me, if you're a family member of mine, I'm going to chat your ear off. So going to Joy Hour and in baby steps like Cherise does, opening them up to people and just having those small conversations and meaningful conversations. It wasn't just a random, you know, like, how's the weather type. We're actually having a conversation about their life and what they're going through and how they're feeling. And I'm sitting there listening. So I'm being receptive and I'm communicating with them back. And it's to have that is really special because I'm the type, I don't want to talk about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like a lot of small chat. You know what I mean? Small talk. I'm not about it. So if you come to me with a real conversation and some depth, I'm more receptive to you. Joy Hour is filled of people with depth and communication, and they just want to have someone to talk to and listen and be around other people that are just like that, a positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
Not going, like we said, there's a place that you can go and drink. That's a whole bunch of negative energy in that room. Right. Like, there's nothing usually positive in a bar, or, you know what I mean? Those people are usually depressed. So, like me, an empath, I'm sucking all that negative energy in then. But if I go to a place like Joy Hour, hence the name Joy, I'm sucking all that joy in.
Mm-hmm. And it carries you throughout the week.
Yeah.
Like one thing I noticed when we did every week, which eventually we're going to again, the announcement,
Man,
big announcement.
big things pop.
Things are happening. The goal, of course, is that there will be a joy hour in every city, every community across the world. That's the vision. And stay tuned. There's a couple of them popping up next year, and it's just going to keep spreading and spreading. But every community, every city is struggling with lack of real connection. And so we're excited. January will be a new venue in Auburn, Washington. And we hope that there'll be one in Bellevue very soon. But with these, doing them every week, I found Mondays and Tuesdays are always the hardest. I'll have a Sunday that I'm on cloud nine. I went to church with my kids and my family, and I had Saturday to relax. And for me, Monday's the hardest. It just hits boom. And Tuesday gets a little better. By Friday, I'm like, all right, the weekend's here again. But Wednesday, we chose kind of middle of the week for that reason. Just check in. Yeah, how you doing? A lot of people take Mondays and Tuesdays and work from home or take it off sometimes if they can. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is like the rat race. Yeah, more traffic, more stress, more. So we chose Wednesday for that reason. But I can't tell you how many times I went to Joy Hour, and I guess you could say hosted Joy Hour, that I was the guy that needed it. I wasn't up. I wasn't joyful.
Yeah.
And then when I left, like you said, my Thursday was a little better. I'm like, I can do this. It's only 6 more days till another Joy Hour.
Yeah. The last Joy Hour that I saw you at, I told my wife in our room, we were getting ready. I says, man, because I wasn't feeling too good. It's in business, there's good times and bad times, busy times and slow times. So in the catering business, wintertime could be a little bit slower, especially for a barbecue guy. So with that being said, feeling some kind of way, but I said to my wife, I said, man, I'm sure excited for Joy Hour because I feel like my bucket's running on low because I haven't filled any buckets. Because one of the first things you did was give me a book. It was a children's book, but it's a book that can apply to all mankind and womankind, all humankind.
There you go.
It's just about filling buckets, right? Whether it's you tell someone something nice about themselves, you compliment their work, acknowledge their presence. How I talked about when you're walking down a sidewalk past Westlake.
Called Have You Filled a Bucket Today?
Yeah, How to Fill the Bucket Today. If you haven't read that book, you should read How You Fill the Bucket.
Put that up. Put that on the show there. Have You Filled a Bucket Today?
Yeah, and that was the first book you've given me, man. And that I actually took that book to
the baby.
I gave it to my goddaughter Bella, and also I took it to my job at the women's shelter. So every Friday at the women's homeless shelter I was at, we would have a community meeting. So we would rally up every single woman in the shelter, and management would kind of go over, different topics. So before that meeting, I was the intro.
Right. I
actually read that book to each woman to all of them at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's a good book. It's a simple book, but I think everybody should read it. It's a simple concept. And from there, you gave me a book called The Go-Giver.
Right.
And knowledge is power. I've been around a lot of dudes. They've been real successful, but they're not going to teach you and show you, a way, right? So it's very important that, when you're around people of influence, make sure they're a good influence, right? You know what I mean? So it's simple, right? You want to...
With the Go-Giver book, too, and it really helped with our company when we started out. My dad was really big on that. So when I read that book, it was like, that reminds me of my dad. But the concept is remembering people's names. Not just their names, but their kid's name or their brother's name or something about them or where they grew up or just details. And doing it not out of... any other reason than I actually care.
Listening, paying attention.
Yeah, you're important to me. And so when you do that, and I crack myself up. Sometimes I walk up to somebody, I'll be like, hey, Jason. And they're like, it's Mike. I'll see them a month later. Hey, Jason, it's Mike. I'm like, eventually I'm going to get it right.
Right.
So finally then I'm like, hey, Joe, it's Mike. I'm like, all right, well, because I meet so many people. There's weeks, same thing you do. There's weeks I meet 100 people.
Oh.
Yeah.
There's a lot of names going through the brain here. But I still find it so much better than, hey, bro, for the rest of my life. So always take a chance, step out. Like you said earlier, eye contact. How are you doing? And a lot of times people are fearful at first. Like, why are you saying hi to me? We're just walking by each other. We're just at the gas station. Why are you being nice? Why are you saying hi?
Motive.
What's your motive? But you wait sometimes 3 minutes, sometimes 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes a couple different times of seeing that person. Everybody's different. But at some point, that wall will fall down, and they will go, I needed this. I needed somebody that was truly saying, hi, what's your name, being friendly, and had no ulterior motive. I tell people, if you need a contractor, you're going to find one. There's a million. I'm not talking to you to try and get you to hire me to be your contractor at all. Not trying to convince you of changing your views on politics because I'm right, you're wrong. I'm not trying to sell you any multi-level marketing. No, I literally was saying, man, I like your hat. I like your shirt. Hey, you got a wonderful wife, or anything at all, to lift each other up. But that book, I need to read it again. It's, have you filled the bucket today? Have you truly? And you can't fill your bucket by putting other people down. You can't fill your bucket by, stepping on other people to climb that ladder.
Right.
You truly fill your bucket by treating others how you would like to be treated, out of love, kindness, respect, not respecting somebody more because they're wealthy or they're not, because they're known and a celebrity or they're not, or not because of their wealth or any other race or any of that stuff. Just, you're human, I'm a human, and we're talking. And I love you. Bring it in, bro. Like, I'm a hugger, and it's always, some people are like, okay, I'm not a hugger, Tom, but bring it in. I love you. And if we're not going to do it physically, I'm going to do it with my words. And so, it's just exciting to see this go. This is the Joy Hour movement. It can only be done with the support of people that have a heart like you do. I'm so glad to have you on the show. I know we'll do more of these, and we'll probably soon here do some candid ones out there at the Joy Hour event.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And January 24th, and we will be at a location to be announced very soon. Super excited. Again, shout out Rolling Smoke BBQ, Jason, Cherise, Hester, incredible services. I love y'all.
And it was our pleasure. This was,
special.
It's easy to talk about Joy Hour. I mean, it's an amazing thing that we've just, a small part that we've been a part of, but we want to watch it grow and we want to help. So we're here for it.
Let's go Bellevue next and get one going there. We've got some people hopefully going to support, and we'd love to do that. And maybe Tacoma next, or hey, Portland, or who knows. But we want to see people catch the vision. I know so many people have the same heart. Maybe they don't have an idea on how to start it, but you can start it with a ping pong table. You can start it with a deck of cards, right? I mean, we've seen that every age, every demographic, every age has had a good time at Joy Hour because there's something for everyone.
Absolutely.
And like you said, whether you're extrovert, introvert, whether you're single, whether you're a family, it does not matter. I promise you, come check it out. You'll have a good time.
Yeah.
And you'll walk away going, I got a phone number of somebody I had a great conversation with. And then if you don't come to Joy Hour for a while, that's fine. But you and that person, now you meet for coffee, you meet for lunch, you go to a Mariners game together, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you build a bond where I don't think you truly could have done that in an altered state of mind, drunk, right? It's different.
Oh, yeah.
Different.
It's a sober connection where the relationship goes deep quick, and it stays stronger quicker. So that's why we're here today. Met you there, and like you said, bro, I mean,
100%.
close to you, and want to get closer and learn more about each other, be there for each other. Now, Saturdays are my weekdays, so shoot me a text.
Come on now. Hey, look, I got some golf clubs that I don't use very often.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing about, Joy Hour is that connection piece, right? So positive connections, right? So every time I've gone to Joy Hour, I've had people in my past ask me, not particularly about Joy Hour, but, volunteering doesn't get you paid, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I see it different. I see it as planting a seed, right? And a good friend of ours, again, he plants seeds of hope.
Right.
We know what we're talking about.
Yep.
And so coming to Joy Hour, it's good connection and it's good networking, right? You're going to meet different people.
Right.
And you get to know them, right? So, for example, I met a gentleman, he does car detailing. Older gentleman, right? He and I probably wouldn't be sitting in a room to even have conversation to know how much we have in common and all these different things, but you meet different people, right? And now I get my car cleaned from this guy, Me having a catering business, I've actually probably gotten several different catering gigs just by being at Joy Hour. Someone walks up, oh, hey, you do catering? Yeah, I do catering. And so it's just a whirlwind of positive networking, socializing, and connection. that I can attest to, because prior to hanging out with folks like the folks at Joy Hour, you know, prior to meeting my wife as well, because she helped drag me out the mud, but, you know, you can find me at, you know, hanging out in bars that close after 2 a.m. So, you know, underground clubs and, you know, different environments like that just weren't very savory, you know. So, and nothing good comes after midnight, you know, and
I said when I met him, said nothing good happens after midnight.
And nothing good happens after a night of drinking. And so, I'm really thankful and really appreciative that you have that space. And then, like you said, we clicked right away, but I can say the reason why we clicked is like, bro, you're the guy, you know what I'm saying? You're so real and so raw and so open, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I've known you like my whole life, because the things you described to me were the exact same things that I've been through and things that I've seen around me, you know what I mean? Like, growing up where I grew up at, you know, we had a very awareness of what, you know, cocaine and crack was. You know, in my neighborhood, I think I knew in 5th grade what crack was, because to walk to school, we got to walk by a corner where people sold dope on.
Right.
And so it was presented to us like, hey, you know, we had the DARE program, you know, no hope and dope, show a little egg in a frying pan, and then you would see this guy is smoking crack, he ain't got nowhere to live. So it was kind of easy not to do that, right? But then as you grow older, you know, you get all the marijuana, of course, you think that's all cool and fun and whatnot. And you get older, you see people around you, they start selling drugs. And when you're selling drugs, like let's just say, for example, you're selling cocaine or you're selling crack, for example. You're selling crack out there, and after you make so much money, you feel like you owe yourself a treat. So then you turn to the bag of cocaine, and you think you're different. You're like, oh, these guys are calling me up. They're scratching their necks. They're buying 20, you know, whatever amount of worth of crack they can get. And, you know, you're laughing and calling them a crackhead. But 2, 3 in the morning, well, everybody's dipping their keys in the bag, snorting cocaine. So now the daily profits just went right back up your nose. So it's almost just this evil game of back and forth.
Right.
And I've never seen a retired successful drug dealer.
Right.
Yet a lot of young guys in the inner city and places like where I come from tend to glorify that person, right? When really they should be looking up to hardworking, respectable people that can maybe guide them out of what they call the trenches or whatever they want to call it. But yeah, no, I'm very fortunate to have made it as far as I've made it. I've been spared, I've been blessed. So yeah, man, what you're doing, man, especially as it expands and grows, it's gonna save a lot of lives, man. I mean, you know, if people had a place they can go to after work instead of to that bar to go drink, to go, you know, socialize, and then you know how socializing goes with the opposite sex can go the wrong way. You come into a positive place, do all those things, all the things you need are at Joy Hour, but out of it's going to be healthy outcomes versus you trying to go here and there to fill all those voids. So,
and with that too, and we'll wrap up in a minute, but Joy Hour right now is once a month. We'll go back to once a week soon. But with that comes conversations with people that might need a little more. For example, in January, we start back with another one of our 8-week courses. It's called NCTI, National Curriculum Training Institute. It's been around for 71 years. There's 18 different courses. There's one on drugs and alcohol. There's one on anger management. But you sit down. Last time we did it, there was 8 guys in a circle. And I hope to have more, and I hope to have women's groups and all this, but it's simply a book. You're working through it. You're filling in the blanks. It's a lot like what I did in rehab. But you're basically, you know, for $100 or whatever, you buy the literature and you're doing your homework right there with some other solid people. And so everything from anger to drugs and alcohol, but it's behavioral changes programs that we offer. And so we have our new office space. We get the keys next week for our actual office that we're going to do this in Auburn, and it's open. And I'll talk more about that. But NCTI is a great program. It's been around 70 years. Drug court judges and everybody approve of it. It's a great program. There's that. And then, of course, there's Celebrate Recovery. Of course, once in a while I do NA meetings, AA meetings. There's a lot out there, you know, and I have fun at all of them in different ways. You know, NA meetings different than Joy Hour. Joy Hour is different than Celebrate Recovery. But for a lot of us, we don't need something once a month. Sometimes not even once a week. We need something once a day. So Joy Hour movement is going to offer more of those resources and programs. And eventually, I hope that we have our own main building that's open 5-6 days a week, where every day somebody gets off work, come on by. Have a cup of coffee, shoot some pool. Come on by. Sit in the corner, read a book. Come on by. You can meet somebody. It's just a recovery hangout center that's open at least 9 to 5-6 days a week. So that's the big vision. I don't know if I even shared all that with you, but you're a part of it. So when you say Joy Hour, it's we. And there's lots of other volunteers. There's been over 5,000 plus volunteer hours, and that's not just us. That's taken you and a lot of other people that we'll have on the show and spread to other people what Joy Hour is. And that's just Auburn. Think about, we need that team again, another team in Bellevue, another team in Portland, another team in Florida, and so we need to be always the one that's sharing what Joy Hour is as it continues to evolve. But it's really a house of hope, a house of healing, a house of conversations that, for this person, they're going to jump on Celebrate Recovery, but they're not going to do NCTI. This person's going to do NCTI, or they're going to do NA, not AA. And hey, that's okay. They're all different. I look at it like this. I'm a contractor. It's tools in my toolbox. So some days I need an NA meeting. Some days I need Joy Hour. Some days I need a color crayons and paintbrushes and a walk, going on a hike. So big vision. It's going to spread. It is spreading, and you're a big part of it. So we're going to do another one of these soon. But I love you, Jason, Cherise, and appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah.
Don't forget Rolling Smoke BBQ right there, and Considerate Contracting, of course, has been a big sponsors. Truthfully, financially, we've been the ones and a couple others funding it so far, and we're about to get out and do some fundraising and really ask for your help, your support. If you'd like to donate to Joy Hour, click on the button and be able to help you learn how to do that. But we're going to need the help as this continues to grow and spread, for everything from prizes for the kids, to the food, to the venue. It takes a lot to make this happen, but it is, as you said, Jason, it's saving lives, and I'm so glad to be a part of it. Thanks for being on the show.
Oh, 100%.
All right. Thanks.